Gerry Murphy is a member of Aosdána and author of numerous collections of poetry. Here he is, reading a selection of short pieces. His most recent collection of poetry, The Humours of Nothingness, is published by Dedalus Press.
My name is Gerry Murphy and I'm going to read you some poems. My first one is called Poem in One Breath. Not that you would notice, but every time you pass up the corridor, Lenin's statue levitates slightly to get a better view of the remarkable ease with which you fill curved space. And we'll continue with Note to an Autocrat. Have I mentioned Sulla, supreme campaigner, ruthless butcher? Even you would be impressed, vigorous reformer. In 79 BC, he resigned his dictatorship, dismissed his lictors and walked home a private citizen. Absolute imperial power, absolutely dismantling himself and taking a quiet stroll into history. You, on the other hand, could drive to the airport and fly to a comfortable exile in Washington before I even begin to finish this. And here's lunch at the yacht club. Tucking into my lasagna and chips, studying an illustrated article in Time magazine concerning the recent slaughter of Bengalis in Assam, which contains a photograph of 34 children being laid in neat rows to fit without difficulty into a ready-made mass grave, I am reminded by the waiter that I have yet to order dessert. I cover the photograph and ask for cheesecake. With cream? Certainly with cream. Headgear of the tribe. With apologies to Desmond O'Grady. Brits on the pavement, ice in the wind, my mother is knitting my first balaclava. And there goes the train. That's to give you the authentic background. A note on the demise of communism. I give the communist salute to my capitalist ex-girlfriend as she takes the corner at a clip in her black BMW, doles me out an imperious nod and leaves me to choke back Marxist-Leninist rhetoric in a plume of carbon monoxide. And flicking through, among thieves. There are pickpockets in the cathedral, warned the bishop. They may get to your purses before we do, muttered the worried priest. There is a God. There is a God who beams at the damask altar cloths, who basks in the golden glow of the chalices, who dozes to the lullaby of hosannas. When grieving mothers come to the church for solace and let their pennies rattle into the big iron box, he wakes up disgruntled and fires down a dose of clap at the priest. Ta-da. The big issues. Word comes true that you are working your ass off. If there is one as lovely in the teeming seraglio of a Turkish soccer player, I'll eat my face. If there are breasts more shapely within the vests of Mao's fearless militia women, I'll swallow my little red book. And going down to switch books, lads. Talk among yourselves. This is my current collection, which is called The Humours of Nothingness, which you can get on Amazon. Right. From the Paris Archives. Spring 1943. She sits outside a small sunlit cafe just off the Champs-Élysées, elegant, fragrant, radiant. Coco Chanel waiting patiently for her Nazi officer lunch date. And there we go. Let's see, looking there we are. My life as a Stalinist. Capitalist lackey, I shouted my father across the dinner table during a discussion on the feasibility of the second 5-year plan, the return of Fianna Fáil to government, or my dismal school report, probably all three. The conversation stutters to a halt, and for a moment there is silence. My father's response is laughter, knowing full well that I'm only half aware of the meaning of my misdirected insult. You're a great one for the slogans, Gerry boy. Try to read a little more of the literature underpinning them. In fact, go back to your beloved Stalin and study his voluminous essays on this very subject and his method of dealing with backsliders, saboteurs and lackeys. And get back to me and call me whatever you like. And here's one called Between Ourselves. In August 1940, Stalin sent Mercader to Mexico City to open tentative negotiations with Trotsky, to break the ice, so to speak. And I shall finish with this one, called Miss Molotov. Because she had walked through a fuel spill without noticing, she arrived at the Peace and Reconciliation meeting smelling like a petrol bomb. Thank you for listening.